She mocked his muddy boots and tattered flannel shirt. But what the judge said next left the entire courtroom gasping. Roy hadn't stepped foot in a courtroom in 30 years. But today, he walked in wearing his best, a clean flannel shirt, faded jeans, and his old work boots. Not out of disrespect, but because that's all he had left after the HOA fined him nearly $8,000 for keeping chickens on his own land. At 67, Roy was a retired Army mechanic turned organic farmer, growing food for local families and donating the rest to shelters. Then, HOA Karen moved in. Fancy car nose in the air, and apparently an issue with everything rural. First, she complained about the barn smell, then the ugly coop, and finally unsightly clothing drying on a line. When Roy didn't bend, she took him to court. Inside the courtroom, Karen sat smugly in heels and a designer blazer, flipping her blonde bob like she was on some kind of daytime courtroom TV show. When Roy stood up, hat in hand, she laughed out loud. "Your Honor," she smirked, "I'd like it noted that Mr. Sims clearly doesn't understand dress codes or property values." The room went quiet. Judge Harper, an older woman with sharp eyes and military posture, leaned forward slowly. She looked Roy up and down at his weathered hands, suntanned neck, and boots worn through the soles. Then she looked at Karen. "Mrs. Whitaker," the judge said calmly, "I see you're wearing $200 Italian leather boots. Are you aware they're made from cows, raised in barns, just like Mr. Sims's?" Karen blinked. "Do you know where the cotton for your blouse came from? Farmers, just like Mr. Sims." Karen shifted uncomfortably. The judge stood up. "I grew up on a farm. My daddy wore boots just like those when he sent me to college. So before you judge a man's clothes, maybe consider the soil under them." Roy lowered his head, holding back tears. Karen, speechless now, sank into a chair. But Judge Harper wasn't finished. "Mr. Sims, I've reviewed the HOAS complaint. Your chicken coop is clean within property lines and supports your livelihood. The court finds these fines excessive and retaliatory. All charges are dismissed, and this court recommends the HOA board undergo bias training immediately." You could hear a pin drop. Roy turned to leave. Karen couldn't even look at him. As he walked out of the courtroom, one of the clerks, a young man with a clipboard, ran up to him. "Sir, my mom's in chemo. I saw you give fresh produce to the cancer center last month. That meant a lot. Thank you." Roy just smiled, tipping his hat. "All in a day's work, son."